With director Chad Stahelski and star Henry Cavill, the Highlander reboot may finally be getting off the ground after more than 10 years of development. Come, let's look into it. The Henry Cavill Highlander reboot has been in development for some time, bringing back the classic fantasy movie. 1986 Highlander follows a Celtic warrior who was part of an ancient race of immortals who battle one another throughout the centuries until only one is left standing, leading to the oft-quoted, "There can only be one." The 1986 movie kicked off an expansive Highlander franchise that included theatrical sequels, a live-action television show, and an animated kids' movie. The Highlander movies after the 1986 classic never rose to the levels of the original, leading to an inconsistent cinematic franchise that nevertheless had an intriguing mythology. However, the original remains a favorite of many fans with its sword-fighting action and talented cast that includes Christopher Lambert, Clancy Brown, and Sean Connery. The reboot has also gone through a lot of talent, with Ryan Reynolds in talks to star at one point, while directors like Justin Lin and Juan Carlos Fresnadillo have been attached at one point or another. Not long after the movie's release window was announced, star Henry Cavill has revealed he is beginning training for Highlander. The action star is no stranger to rigorous physical training for his roles, and now the former Witcher lead has said, "It'll be a very long training process, and I'm very excited to get into it." Unlike Cavill's other roles, which require him to be muscle-bound, his preparation for Highlander will likely include extensive sword training. Summit Entertainment first bought the rights to Highlander in 2008 with plans for a remake. The initial plan was for Justin Lin to direct the title planned as Highlander Reckoning. When Lin dropped out in 2011, 28 weeks later, director Juan Carlos Fresnadillo was hired, who himself stepped away from the project shortly after. Chad Stahelski has been attached to direct since 2016, making it Stahelski's first movie outside of the John Wick franchise. John Wick 4's Michael Finch is also involved and has written the script for the current project. While it looked for a while as though Highlander could get stuck in development hell, things are now moving on the project. When will the reboot be released? Joe Dark, the chair of Lionsgate Motion Picture Group, revealed the release window for the Highlander reboot during a business investor call. Although no additional information was disclosed, the company is now targeting a 2026 release date. Filming is already scheduled to begin in 2024, giving plenty of time for the film's post-production and massive CGI effects, which are undoubtedly going to be extensive. Highlander Reboot Cast. The only confirmed member of the Highlander Reboot cast as of now is Henry Cavill. Cavill has been signed onto the Highlander project since 2021 alongside Chad Stahelski as director. Given that Cavill exited the role of Geralt in The Witcher, it is easy to see him stepping into another role as a sword-wielding hero, with him presumably taking the role of Connor MacLeod. With Chad Stahelski's confirmation that the Highlander reboot would use a lot of the same characters from the original, it is easy to determine some of the other key roles that will be needed for the movie. The main villain of the movie is the barbarian Kurgan, played by Clancy Brown in the original. Actors like Vinnie Jones and the late Ray Stevenson were rumored for the role, while Dave Bautista was an earlier candidate for the role and could easily still play the intimidating villain. What will happen in the reboot? The basic premise of Highlander is that there are immortal warriors who have existed throughout time and gather periodically to do battle. While the original movie ended with Connor defeating Kurgan and seemingly becoming the last immortal, the Highlander spin-off television series explained that there were other immortals out there so that the franchise could continue. Chad Stahelski seems to understand the same dilemma as he spoke about the Highlander reboot setting up, the gathering rather than depicting it. Chad Stahelski gave a Highlander update in which he explained that the new movie would be pulled from the original as well as the television show to create a new story that is planned as a new franchise. Stahelski revealed, "We're trying to do a bit of a prequel, a setup to the gathering, so we have room to grow the property." He also confirmed that it wouldn't be a totally new Highlander story, as our story engages a lot of the same characters and stuff like that. Speaking with comicbook.com, Cavill expressed his excitement about the Highlander remake as he has been getting in shape to play his part in the Lionsgate pick. While the former DC Extended Universe star played coy about what to expect with the Highlander reboot, he has been ramping up his preparations for the film. "I'm not going to answer that just yet," Cavill said. "There's a lot of work to be done yet on my part. It's going to be a serious ride, I'll tell you that much." Cavill was confirmed for the Highlander reboot in 2021. Working alongside John Wick franchise director Chad Stahelski, who will helm the remake. Last October, Lionsgate confirmed pre-production on the Highlander remake was underway after years of speculation. with the upcoming film being the first big screen effort for the franchise since 2000's Endgame, which followed the continuity of the original eponymous live-action TV show Highlander the series. The movie will remake the original 1986 movie, which was a commercial flop but has garnered increased critical favor upon re-evaluation. Though Cable has yet to confirm his role in the Highlander film, he will reportedly feature as the central character Connor McLeod, who Christopher Lambert portrayed in the original. The original movie chronicled the story of a long-running battle between immortal warriors and spawned the famous catchphrase, "There can only be one." Also featuring Sean Connery, Roxanne Hart, and Clancy Brown, the initial Highlander birthed several sequels, an animated series, the live-action mentioned above show, and an anime. The revamped Highlander will also include bits from the acclaimed 90s live-action show, as well as other aspects of the franchise. Stahelski recently confirmed he will be overseeing the multi-platform content strategy for the Highlander and John Wick properties as part of a major expansion at Lionsgate, with the reboot film beginning of a franchise at the studio. As Cable prepares for the Highlander remake, he is also promoting his upcoming spy thriller, Argylle, where he features as the eponymous secret agent alongside Bryce Dallas Howard, Ariana DeBose, John Cena, and Samuel L. Jackson. The upcoming Matthew Vaughn helmed film is the first of an intended trilogy, with a central character and premise inspired by the James Bond franchise. Henry Cavill is set to lead an action movie that is intended to serve as a John Wick replacement, but it's already so different from Keanu Reeves' action franchise that its future might not be as bright as expected. Henry Cavill has earned a place in the action genre thanks to his roles in projects like the TV series The Witcher and movies like Man of Steel and Mission Impossible Fallout, and he will continue on that path with Argylle and the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Highlander follows Connor McLeod, a man born in Glenfinnan in the Scottish Highlands in the 16th century and who is one of a number of immortals empowered by the Quickening. The first Highlander movie, released in 1986, spawned a franchise with a total of 6 movies, 2 TV shows, 1 web series, and 1 animated film, and now it's getting a reboot with John Wick's Chad Stahelski as director, and Stahelski has ambitious plans for Highlander that are worryingly different from what was done with the John Wick franchise. As mentioned earlier, the Highlander reboot has been in active development since 2020, though plans to continue this universe have been discussed since 2008. In 2021, Henry Cavill was announced as the lead actor for the Highlander reboot, and the project finally looks to be moving forward after all these years. Speaking to Deadline, Stahelski, who has now inked a new deal with Lionsgate, opened up about the future of the John Wick franchise and the Highlander reboot, sharing that he will design a comprehensive multi-platform content strategy for both. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and found it entertaining, then don't forget to hit that like button below. And if you want to stay updated with more great content like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel by clicking the red button and just ringing the notification bell so you never miss any future content from us. Your support means the world to us.